In today's video, I'm going to share 3 concepts that help me show up more as an online coach or just show up more as an expert. And if you want to learn how to be more of an expert or if you just feel more confident about being an expert, then I think these things would help you. So the first concept that I want to introduce to you guys is the emotional cycle of change. Now, I didn't create this cycle. Someone else did, some fancy guy with a degree, but I heard it from someone else and they were explaining the concept to me like this. Most of us, when if you're like me, or if you're a coach, coaching is probably not one of the first things that you start. Or if you're an entrepreneur, you there's probably a lot of businesses that you have tried before you've committed to your business now. And so that was me. I've done wholesaling, affiliate marketing, drop shipping. I've done a lot creating t-shirts, whatever it is. I've tried to make it successful. So when you start these opportunities, these new cycles, these events that come your way, a lot of us are optimistic and excited for the opportunity, right? And so in the first step of the emotional cycle of change, most of us start in the uninformed optimism because we're excited about the opportunity, know nothing about it. We just know that there's a potential here and that we want to look into it. And so we start looking into it, we start learning the information associated with it. And that leads us to the informed pessimism. So at this point, when you first started, you were excited, you were energized, you were ready to go after your goal. But then you started realizing all the work, all the things that you had to get done, and so you're like, okay, but energy levels are getting a little lower, but you're still a little bit motivated. You're still willing to execute. You're still willing to take action. That was me. I've done it with wholesaling, done it with the affiliate marketing, whatever it is. I've done it in the sense of I did it, right? But the problem where most of us fall, and this is where most people end up, is the valley of despair. When things get hard or they don't see results as quickly as possible, most people quit in this moment. They quit the vehicle that they chose, right? In order to become an expert, you must be willing to stick with the vehicle that you choose. So just to finish off the emotional cycle of change, if you can break past through that barrier where, there's things are not going your way, but you committed, like in this moment, you committed, whatever vehicle you've chosen, you committed to do it until you get success. Don't care how long it takes. For me, that was coaching. I committed and I didn't care how long it took for me to get success. I learned and implemented the things that I needed to implement until you'll start to see. That's when you start to see a little bit of success. Right? Because now you're a little optimistic. You're seeing success. Maybe you got a client here. Maybe you got a sale here. Now it's not running like a full lean machine, but at least you're starting to see success. And if you were able to stay long enough until you hit that breakthrough moment, that's where success and fulfillment is. So why am I bringing up the emotional cycle of change? The reason why I'm bringing up the emotional cycle of change is I want you to be aware. I want you to have clarity. Whatever you chose to show up as a coach, I want you to understand that if you're not seeing success right now, that's okay, right? You're learning the steps to becoming successful. And that leads me to my next concept. And just to kind of reinforce here is like I said, a lot of people end up quitting here. Then they go back to the beginning and find something new to jump in. That was me. I jumped a lot of different vehicles, a lot of different programs, a lot of different ways to make money until I decided to commit to one thing. That's when I started seeing the actual results. So I say that because if you aren't seeing the outcomes that you want, stay with it. Stay with it and keep learning and keep improving because you have to understand it's like building a habit. You build the habit over time. Your brain gets adjust to the work and what is required of you over time. Okay, so reason why I'm bringing up this concept, emotional cycle of change. is that in order to become an expert, you must be able to push through the emotional cycle change, because there's going to be some emotional feelings that are going to hold you back from truly embracing your greatness. And if you ever read, I recommend reading the book Mastery by Robert Greene, where he breaks out the cycle to becoming an expert. And it's basically three phases. Phase one is the apprentice stage, right? This is where you're gathering the information, kind of like what we're doing in emotional cycle change. You're uninformed. You didn't know what was needed of you, but you started grabbing that information because you loved it. It started making sense to you. You enjoyed it. Okay, and then you get into the phase two, which is the creative stage, right? You're starting to see how everything connects. You're starting to see the big picture in your own mind. You're starting to see the game plan. Because before you didn't know how to get from A to B, but now because of all the information and the action that you've been taking, you're starting to see that. But like I said, most people can't get past the valley of despair because they don't spend enough time becoming an expert, really in the apprentice stage, and really in the creative stage. Because as you start to get through the phases, you'll get to phase three, which is mastery, right? So as you get through those stages and you become more of a master, you will feel more confident showing up as an online expert because you know your shit. You know what you're talking about, right? And I say this is like whenever you're picking a vehicle, pick a vehicle that you're willing to commit to, regardless if you got any results, because you just enjoy it. You like learning these things. You like becoming an expert in it. Or if you're already an expert and you already love it, then this video is not for you, right? This is for those who are having a hard time picking what to commit to and really showing up as an expert. Because I feel like a lot of us suffer from imposter syndrome when we are trying to show up as an expert. So I say this, and to kind of go back to the emotional value change and understanding how to become a master. The biggest thing on this lesson and this journey that I've learned for myself is that yeah, I went and learned all the skills. I went through the fear, the uncertainty, the challenges that come from doing something new and putting yourself out there. I went through all of it. And it wasn't easy. Life wasn't easy, but as I overcame some of these challenges, as I started to win, started seeing successes, I realized for myself, and this third concept I would say to you is the law of detachment, right? Being detached from the outcome. All you can focus on is doing the thing that you must do, regardless if you get the output or not, or the result. Now, I know we're all looking for the outputs, we're all looking for the results, but it's important that you detach yourself emotionally from the outputs and results, right? I want to bring it all back. I said I started with the emotional cycle of change because I want you guys to realize that this world is an emotional world. And it's an energetic world. Things, you look at the Kardashians, for example. They made lots of their money based off of their beauty. Sorry, just not sorry, actually. It's just what it is, right? She made a sex tape, became rich and famous because at the end of the day, that's emotional, right? Lust, men lusting after women, whatever, right? It's emotion that's driving those people. But emotion drives I truly believe emotion drives everything in this world, and you must learn to master your own emotional internal emotions, because if you cannot master your internal emotions, then the environment will dictate how you behave. So why did I mention the emotional cycle of change? Because I want you to understand that your body is going through a process every time you decide to do something new. Every decide that you put yourself out there as an expert, just putting yourself as an expert, but also understanding that in order to become a master, you must push past the valley of despair. You must be willing to eat the shit that comes along with becoming the master in the thing that you chose. But a lot of us can't eat the shit. I completely get it. And if you have ate the shit and you spent a couple of years on the thing, and you've realized sometimes it is okay to realize this is not for me. Right? It's like, listen to yourself. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But also understand, is it because you're not getting enjoyment from it, or is it because you're quitting too early because things got hard? So those are the three concepts that really helped shift my mind for myself, because as I knew that I hit the value of despair, I would push past it. Once I knew that in order to become a master, I must enter the apprentice stage, the creative stage, and become a master. And I think I'm getting from the creative to the mastery stage, but guys, I don't, we'll take my time on that one. I'm still figuring things out, at least in the content aspect, as you can see with me putting out content. But also understanding that I'm learning more to be detached. My goal is to get this content out. Nothing else, nothing more. I can't decide whether you're going to like it or not. That's not my business. That's your business. My job is to show up every single day and put in the inputs that position me as the person that I say that I am. And that's where the authenticity comes in. This is how you show up to be your best version of yourself, because I'm not showing up as anyone else but me. I'm showing from the level and skill set that I am right here, right now. And I want you guys to watch and see the growth. And I want to see your growth in that aspect too. But my goal ultimately is to give you guys enough information to take action and make changes in your life and in your business. If you guys don't know, my name is Franz. This is my channel, Flow of France, and my goal is to help you start and scale your coaching business. But not even that. Like I don't really care about that part. What's really important is helping you become the best version of yourself. That's always been my core at the end of the day. The reason why is because like if you work on it, when you become better, your business automatically becomes better. So on that note, hope you guys stay blessed, be highly favored, and I will see you in the next video.